Hello everybody, and welcome to our boss guide for the Royal Rat Vanguard in Dark Souls 2. I'm Ryan Telgenik.
And I'm Lorenzo Valoria. Now, Ryan...
Hello everybody, welcome to our boss guide for The Last Giant in Dark Souls 2. I'm Ryan Telgenik.
And I'm Lorenzo Valoria.
And this is, I think, the first boss you're going to encounter unless you go straight through Heed's Tower of Flame and take on Dragon Rider.
Yeah, so he's one of the first guys, not too difficult, especially if you have your humanity intact and can summon another AI character or another player.
Is the summon right before the gate? Where is it located? Do you remember?
It's just before the gate. If you have your humanity intact,
right,
you're not going to miss it. It's the little white symbol on the ground, and you just summon the guy, and he'll help you kick this guy's ass.
Well, which sucks because I died like maybe once before fighting. You can see like I have that sort of cap on my health,
right,
meaning I've died once or twice. I'm really bummed that was the case. This was the first time I attempted the boss, and I found him fairly simple. I stuck really close to his feet. Obviously, watch out for his stomps. You saw in the beginning there, I got hit by the first one and sent me flying. Took about maybe a little over half my health. Just be really careful about that stuff.
Yeah, and he'll attack you with both feet. He'll stomp you. Ooh, there you go. But you could lock onto either one. So if you prefer to circle strafe a different direction, you could lock onto his left or right foot. And then he also has those big sweeping attacks too with his arms, which it gets an even bigger one as he goes along here.
Yeah. So I don't remember if I get hit by any of those or not. But at this point in the game, I'm just using I think like the basic starting armor I had.
Yeah.
I'm using a broadsword, yeah, and my starting shields. I'm like in full starting equipment here. I'm not getting anything special. He's a pretty simple boss. Now, what you're going to see in a second here, because we're about to hit the halfway point on his health, the mechanics change a little bit, just very slightly. What he does, and unfortunately I don't think he just did it, he rips off his arm and then starts using it as a club. Now, I actually found this to be an even easier setup because he still has that kind of sweeping attack, but it's like hardly any different than when he's just using his regular arm in the first place. Yeah,
and he kind of reduces his stomping, so if you're behind him attacking his feet, you don't really have to worry about getting stepped on as much, so it does get a little bit easier towards the end here.
And I'd imagine he's probably a pretty boss, or a pretty boss. He is in fact not pretty. He is an ugly mother freaker. But I bet he's probably pretty simple to take on, especially with ranged attacks, because he has very few just like straightforward downward strikes. He has a couple, but they have mostly short range. So if you can get like, half the map distance away, or half the arena distance away from him, you can pretty safely attack him until he comes walking towards you.
Or even just, you could just stay behind him too, like you are with the melee style, and just, shoot at his feet probably, and be pretty safe, because he doesn't really turn around very fast. You could just maneuver around him, just attack his feet, and eventually he'll go down. We're making some progress here.
Yeah, I just love his design too, like this big-ass giant with a tree trunk piercing through his chest.
Yeah,
he's so cool looking.
His face is kind of like this hooded, it's just hole.
Yeah, it's really gross looking, but it is pretty cool. I think as a first boss encounter for the game, I think he's a really memorable one, even if he's a pretty simple guy to take down. Because I think he's even easier than like the tutorial boss from Dark Souls. Like, he's really just got these very few basic attacks, and they're all easy to dodge as long as you're pretty careful about it.
Yeah, and he's also a cool character too, because he's the last giant, and you might run into some of the other giants around. So
yeah. But just keep tacking those calves, and eventually that'll kill the last giant. If you like our Dark Souls boss videos, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Also check us out at GamesRadar.com, and we'll see you guys there.